We got a lot to do. Right now we're working on a transportation package. We're going out on a listening tour, making sure we're hearing from folks across the state, not just in downtown Seattle, but throughout our state, Bellingham, Vancouver, Spokane, the Tri-Cities, seeing what people want out there. I think we're hearing a strong message that we need to move forward, but a transportation package is very complicated as far as what's that proper mix between transit and roads and preservation versus new projects, and how do we fund it? And then how do we make it work for all citizens, knowing that inside the Puget Sound core, obviously the transit needs are very different than throughout the rest of the state. And so we're trying to figure out how can we put together a package that has an impact on improving lives for families out there, making sure that when they're going to work, they can get to work on time, and when they're coming home, they can get back to their families. And then also what we're trying to make sure is that from a business standpoint, we're addressing the needs of freight mobility and making sure that we really are looking on congestion relief instead of just looking at this as a jobs program. I've done a lot of things. A lot is focusing on transportation, getting that moving. I was just up at the Everett School District watching how they go about balancing out their class loads, which is a real interesting process. So again, focusing on education, talking to a lot of businesses, going back to the basics of the Majority Coalition as far as jobs, education, the budget, and making sure that we're creating an economic environment here in Washington State that is conducive for jobs, and that employers and employees are going to want to come to this state. And in order for that to happen, you need a great education system. And so they're all kind of intertwined together, but it's refreshing as far as the differences we have made. It's nice to go out in the communities and hear, man, you guys did a great job in education. Finally, people didn't just talk about it, they did something about it. We got a lot of work to do, especially in education reform. It can't just be about dollars. We have to reform the system if we truly want to have a 21st century education system for all of our kids. It's pretty unprecedented as far as no tuition increase. It's been so long, people don't remember, when was the last period in time. And again, it's trying to make sure that we're creating values for those families out there. Not only did we hold tuition down, but we funded education at the state level. So that means that your kids can get those classes that they want. We put $18 million into STEM. We have 500 kids right now at the University of Washington that could get into computer science, but we don't have the room. And we're trying to create that space because there's plenty of jobs out there. There's 25,000 unfilled jobs right now, but a lot of them are in those STEM fields, the science, the mathematics, the technology areas. And we need to make sure that we're producing the kind of degrees that our employers want, because we need to make sure that we have a state where businesses want to come to. Well, I think the big thing is we really changed the nature of the discussion in Olympia. And I think kids and education have always been held hostage that if you want a great education system, well, you need more revenue. We said, no, if you want a great education system, that's where your first priority should be. Our Constitution is very clear on that. And the Majority Coalition was very clear on that education is going to be our priority. We're not going to hold kids hostage. And from that, we were able to have a great education program and no new taxes. I look forward to coming back this session, working with all of our members, not only in the Majority Coalition, but across the Senate. We got a lot to do. We got a great state, and we need to fulfill the promise of this state by working together.